Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Real Deal Sports Show. When you hear that beat from Backspin, the best engineer in all of Western New York, when you hear that beat and best DJ as well, when you hear it, you know it's time for Real Deal Sports Show. You know we'll be talking sports of all sorts for the next hour right here on WLGZ HD2, the beat 105.5 FM on your radio dial. We're talking sports of all sorts, and we got to get it in for another beautiful week of sports. I mean, it's just so much happening all around. But first, lead sponsor, Challenger Community News, Western New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper. Pick us up each week. Make sure you read all the beautiful articles coming up this week, August 10th. Make sure you check out the Rochester Summer Soul Festival article. Beautiful interview with the promoter, Varick Banye, talking about the music fest. We also, of course, have my article in there on Bill's training camp, Roswell Park. We got a lot going on. We got a lot of events coming. And also, Zackety Zack, the cat. Find out about the event at the Phyllis Wheatley Library later today from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Phyllis Wheatley Library. Karen Ward and her crew having a free book giveaway event for children and their families at the Phyllis Wheatley Community Library this later today from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So stop on by Phyllis Wheatley Library, get those book bags and everything, and they hygiene. She's talking Zackety Zack, the cat, sparkles his teeth. Beautiful book signing as well, and book giveaway by Karen Ward Wilder. Karen Ward Wilder. That's right. Gotta get that Wilder part on there, Karen. That my bad on that one. Karen Ward Wilder. So check it out today, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Phyllis Wheatley Library. And also, you got so much other news and Challenger Community News. Pick us up each week in the community, most businesses in the community, as well as the county office building, City Hall, Strong Hospital, Monroe Community Hospital, and businesses throughout the community here in Rochester, New York. And also, last but not least, our owner and publisher, Alnisa Barbara Banks, has an excellent article on page 10. Read her review, her commentary on page 10. Why so many black folks are reacting to the Alabama riverboat brawl. Read that article. Alnisa Barbara Banks puts the nail on the head, put the hammer right on the nail. I mean, she doesn't hold back. She gives you a very good synopsis of why so many black folks are reacting to the Alabama riverboat brawl. Very good read. That's on page 10 of this week's Challenger Community News. If you want to read it online, thechallengernews.com. Pick up the copy of the publication or read it online. Excellent read from front to back and back to front. All kinds of excellent news for in this week's Challenger. The health issue, beautiful health edition, always in the health section of the paper. Always some good. Why sugar is bad for your health, man? That's a no-brainer. But hey, they break it down in the Health Matters section of this week's Challenger Community News. So pick up the Challenger each week in the community, and you can always learn about what's going on in your community. We also salute the Buffalo 10. They will never be forgotten. We'll never forget the Buffalo 10. And also, speaking of the Buffalo 10, they got how do you want to remember them? They got a survey out, so check out the survey. That's also in Challenger Community News. How do you want them to be remembered? Your opinion counts. Last public meeting on it for the Memorial Commission. So show up for that meeting, go online, find out about it. How do you want the Buffalo 10 to be remembered? So they're working on it, and they will always be remembered on Real Deal Sports Show. That's why we salute them every single week, because we will never forget May 14th, 2022, and what went down at the Top Supermarket over there in Buffalo, New York. We'll never forget that for sure. Right, J-GILLZ? And now I got my right-hand man, J-GILLZ, in the house. How you doing this morning?
Doing well. What up, Rochester? Absolutely, George. When they talk about the Buffalo 10, and that the community definitely needs to get involved with that. That happened in our community, so our community needs to decide exactly how they're going to be remembered. So much going on in the world of sports, training camp wrapping up, NFL coming back, baby. It's a lot to talk about, Rap Man. It's a lot to talk about.
There certainly is, and training camp just wrapped up right here in Rochester, New York. It just wrapped up earlier this week. The Buffalo Bills are now back in Buffalo. They have a 1 p.m. game scheduled over there. If providing those thunderstorms hold off over there in Buffalo, you might have a little. Just almost like baseball nowadays. Now they even have rain delays and thunder delays in football now. So So be careful out there today, heading out. If you're heading out to the stadium, have a good time. But we're going to get you some insights and some interviews with various players coming up. And a matter of fact, J-GILLZ and Backspin, I'd like to go to the first interview. We're going to talk on the defensive side of the ball. And Kingsley Jonathan, the young man that played last year in his second season, played with Buffalo, got cut, went to Indianapolis, coached for a little bit, then came back to the Bills late in the second half of the season when the injuries started happening, piling up on the defensive side. Kingsley Jonathan came back, and he had a good role with the Buffalo Bills last year. Let's hear Backspin. Please put that on for Kingsley Jonathan talking about this upcoming season. Back again, you left, then came back. You've been. How many training camps have you been with the Bills now?
This is my second training camp with them.
And how's it going for you this year?
It's been awesome, man. It's been awesome. Just getting opportunities and trying to make the most out of them.
How was it last season, coming back late in the season, coming back to the Bills?
It felt good to be back. Felt at home right here, so felt like this is where I was supposed to be, and just kept working to earn my spot here, and that's what we keep doing every day.
Does this scheme seem to fit your style of play?
Oh yeah, I like to get up the ball and attack the gaps, rush the passer, vertical. Go vertical to blocks. Yeah, it does.
And you like to drop back and drop back in the coverage as well? I know as an edge rushers, you guys got a lot of responsibilities nowadays.
Yeah. I don't mind dropping back there, showing my coverage skills. Yeah.
And what's your goals for this upcoming season?
Just get in there, make the most out of my opportunities, get as many plays as I can, rush the quarterback, affect the quarterback, get pressures, shut down the run. Just looking to make the most out of the opportunities I get.
All right, beautiful. And there you have it, number 59. Keep an eye on him today in the preseason game against the Indianapolis Colts. Number 59, Kingsley Jonathan. Nice edge rusher, got decent speed. But one thing I like about him, J-GILLZ, is when he gets to the runner or the opposing ball carrier, he wraps him up. He's good at putting his arms around him and bringing them down. He's not trying to use his shoulder. He's using those arms. He's putting his arm and shoulder into the runner, and he usually brings them down when that happens. Correct, J-GILLZ?
Absolutely. Another thing, as I look at the addition to Kingsley and the amount of playing time that's going to be crucial, looks like the Bills are finally going off of those young guys, A.J. Epinesa, Boogie Basham, those young guys that they wasted those picks on, had to go out and get Kingsley. Kingsley's going to look to be a huge piece, especially with Von Miller being out to start the season. So it's going to be a good.
Absolutely. And another guy for our listeners' audience, Poona Ford, nose guard. This guy looks like a fire hydrant, little short cat, thick as can be, man. He looked like you can't move him. And I remember watching him with the Seattle Seahawks the last few years. Last year wasn't a good year for him, but the previous years before that, he's had excellent success. And I have a feeling Poona Ford is going to make a difference, especially against the run game. If Jaquan Jones is injured, Jaquan Jones and him maybe coming in playing, relieving, or having them both in the game at the same time, or once in a while, or relieving each other, giving each other a break during the games, I think it won't have a drop off at all this year. Because last year, what happened in that playoff game against Cincinnati when Jaquan Jones, that was the only game he couldn't play because of the injury. He was beat up. He tried to go. He couldn't play in that game. And you saw what happened. Mixon and company ran the ball right up the middle, ran it right where Jaquan Jones, the nose guard, is usually at. And a lot of people don't realize that when you miss Jaquan Jones, that was a big loss in that game against the Cincinnati Bengals. They established a running game on that snowy, cold afternoon in Buffalo, and they ran all over the Buffalo, and that set up the play-action pass, and Joe Burrow had a field day in Buffalo in that playoff game, as everybody sadly remembers. But I think Poona Ford, if with him being in here, they brought him in to help stop the run, and this guy can do that. And let's go to the soundbite, the interview with Poona Ford, to get his thoughts on the upcoming season. For you here in St. John Fisher College.
It was a pretty fun experience, being able to practice at college. It really gets you back to your roots, how you was when you were in college.
How was it in Seattle? Did they have live audiences like this?
Mm-hmm. Every day, yeah. Yep. About the same. Like they all sit up on the hill. They come bring the juice.
All right. So what's your goals for this coming season?
To win.
To win?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been around a long time. You've been doing your thing, and you think your experience comes in this defensive unit?
Yeah, I just want to come in and help any way I can with us, just coming off the bench and just getting minimum stats, just doing whatever I need to do to help team win.
Is this defense different from the Seattle or ones that you experienced in the past?
It's different than what we ran last year, and that's part of the reason why I signed here.
Okay. And why is that now?
Oh, I was wanting to be in a straight up 4-3 scheme.
You feel that might be better?
I mean, it was better. Like, if you look at the numbers, when I was like not last year, but like all the prior years before that, you could see the numbers. The numbers don't lie.
There you go. And I know you don't lie. You're gonna be happy this season.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. There you go, man. No nonsense, J-GILLZ. Guy was serious, man. Puna Ford.
Oh, absolutely. Put it forward, like you said, right, man. He's going to be a huge piece, especially with Jordan Phillips always being hurt, Shiesty Ed, as some of our colleagues like to call him.
Oh, really?
Ed Oliver, not really. He got the contract, but I mean, he has a lot to prove as well. So that rotation, just keeping those big guys in there, trying to stop the run, is going to be crucial to help out that Bills secondary.
Oh, it definitely is. It's going to be crucial because it's stopping the run. And Puna Ford, like as he said, when I looked it up after the interview, yeah, his numbers were a big fall off last year, but they had changed the scheme there in Seattle. But when they were in a straight 4-3, a 4 rushing, 4 down linemen and 3 linebackers, he really his numbers were very consistent throughout those years of a straight 4-3 defensive front. So he was. I think he's going to be a big difference. And the Bills' defense have so many veteran players that they brought in. Taylor Rapp, a safety back there. You got Cameron Densler, another corner that has experience. And Kier Elam. Shane Ray, another edge rusher. We had a sound interview with him on last week. If the Bills can get something out of Shane Ray, and you watching the game today, watch for number 49. Shane Ray is another guy to keep an eye on. He will be playing today. Puna Ford probably won't be playing because you don't need him we all know what he can do. Him, Daquan Jones, you get some of these younger guys out there playing. But Shane Ray hasn't played in 4 years, coming off the wrist injury and several injuries that derailed his career. But he's coming back, making a comeback. Former number 1 draft pick, 23rd overall in the first round of the 2015 draft. And then 2016, he was drafted by the Denver Broncos, played for the Broncos, played across from Von Miller, helped win that Super Bowl 50 out in San Francisco, California. And then he went down with the injuries in 2017. Then he's been out since 2018, hasn't played. But if he can come back and just be a man, I tell you, this defensive unit, Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane really went for veteran guys. They're looking for these guys that can fill the hole, and they're going all in on this season. Once again, it's home run or bust for the Buffalo Bills team. And I think on the defensive side, I think they got it right with the veteran guys that they have brought in here. It's going to be interesting to see how it shapes up when we get down to the cut date after September 4th and see what the final 53-man roster will look like, plus the 15-man practice squad now, because you still got 15 people that you can place on the practice squad, and we can see what can come about at that time with the practice squad. But let's go to the offensive side, J-GILLZ, and let's go backsman. Let's go into another lineman. So we got 17 linemen on the roster. Is this guy fighting for a job? Brandon Shell, the nephew of the legendary Hall of Famer Art Shell, the first African American head coach in the modern era of the National Football League. Art Shell with the Oakland Raiders at that time, and mainly known for being a great lineman as well. He's got good lineage here. Let's hear what Brandon Shell has to say about his 8-year career in the National Football League. How's training camp going for you so far?
I think it's on the up, Good, just trying to get better every day, just working, trying to get the playbook down. And his work, as the camp is work.
How difficult is it to get a playbook that you obviously may not be as familiar with?
He's strong.
He's strong, man. Everybody say he's strong, man. When you been in here lifting the building or something?
No, man. That's just my nature. I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
But just learn the playbook. It's new everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
This is my eighth offensive coordinator.
Oh,
So,
wow.
you know, I've been learning a new playbook every year. So I just got to stay down in the playbook and just learn it, you know, take these reps that the other guys take, just watching the plays and taking my reps and walkthroughs and stuff and watching and just getting those reps and learning the plays too.
And learning the plays and doing all that stuff and holding, especially holding.
Oh, he does. Oh, yeah, yo, man. Hey, all right, yeah, I don't know. That's, I don't even take that one. But what's your what keeps you motivated each year coming back? You being your after 8 years in the league already.
Man, just love for the game, you know. It's like, you know, when you away from it, you miss the guys, you miss the locker room. Just being locker room, just being part of a team, you know, you miss that. You know, when you away from that, you kind of feel like, you know, you kind of feel lost.
Right.
You know, so like I just like to be in that environment with the guys and, you know, just working. You know, I love football, so I want to be around it. You know?
And what's your goals for this season?
My goals for the season, you know, just
look like we had
than me for the team.
Excellent. There you have it. Brandon Shell working. This guy is humongous, man. He's like 6'8", 345. I mean, he's huge, J-GILLZ.
Oh, man, I love Brandon Shell, and it's not just because he played for the Dolphins last year, started at right tackle for most of the season. I love him because the Bills really, really need him. I mean, the Bills have been makeshifting this offensive line outside of Mitch Morris and Deion Dawkins for years, whether it's Roger Saffold and all these other guys that they get for a year, then they leave. And they get it for a year, then they leave. I think Brandon Shell has the ability to hold down this spot for this whole season, especially with the injury. Spencer Brown is a shell, no pun intended, of his former self. He gets hurt every single year. Every training camp, we see him walking off the field, limping off the field. I'm surprised in training camp we haven't seen him carting off the field yet, as much as he gets hurt. So Brandon Shell is going to be a nice replacement. You can plug him in. Him and Deion, I think, can do damage protecting Josh Allen, and hopefully Josh can have a better season with that sort of protection right there. And the next move that they're going to need to do is Mitch Morris, because I know, right, man, you got a lot to say about Mitch Morris. You can't stand him, and they need to continue to try and makeshift this offensive line if they want any success in this season.
Yes, indeed. He's a nice guy. I like him. I respect him. He's a very good guy, but he's just too old. It is better when you have better talent on your roster. And Ryan Bates should be the Bills center. In my perspective, Ryan Bates gives a much cleaner snap. You watch it; the team flows, comes off the ball even quicker with Ryan Bates as the center. I would definitely cut Mitch Morris and save that $5 million that the Bills desperately going to need to save. Somebody's getting cut. Some name players got to get cut because the Bills' money is just too tight right now, especially when you come down to September 4th and you have to make those roster moves and get down to a certain amount, get down to that 53-man roster, and also the money has to be right. Right now, the Bills are over the cap, so obviously some people are going to be casualties of the cap, and Mitch Morris would be my casualty guy because he's a good guy, good person, great interview as well. But man, he's just on his play on the field just isn't there any longer. I would make the change, get Ryan Bates in there, and also draft it next year. Get you a younger center and upgrade. They should have, to me, they should have 2 years ago. They should have upgraded that position. You see, the Kansas City Chiefs, they let Mitch Morris go years ago. They haven't missed a beat. They done brought in another young guy. They bring in linemen each year to fill in some spots, to put in different spots, and that's the way the Bills should have been doing too. You just don't hold on to guys until they can't play any longer. Spencer Brown. He should have been gone a year ago, too. I mean, he has a chronic back issue. His back tightened up on him out here at Fisher earlier in the week. He couldn't even bend over to pick his helmet up. He had to walk sideways to get to the locker room because his back tightened up. He has chronic injuries. The guy, he's a little too stiff. Guys can get into his chest, and the defensive edge rushers can move him around because they're able to get into his chest and control his body and move him around. They need to. Brandon Shell could be an answer right there. You got David Quisenberry has been in his spot most of the time. They may, if Spencer Brown is not a cut casualty, which he should be, I would have Quisenberry start with Brandon Shell backing him up on that side, and then you got Deion Dawkins on the other side as the other tackle, and going from there. I would continue to make that type of moves to tinker with that offensive line. They got 17 guys on that roster. You know, a lot of those linemen are going to be gone as we get down to cut day. So it's going to be interesting. Osiris Terrence, I've been checking him out. He's working on his footwork. I think they want him. I think they may want him to start, but we'll see if he's able to start the season at one of those guard positions as well. Because Ike Buttigieg is working hard. He's playing pretty well out there in practice too. You got a lot of guys out there, J-GILLZ. So it's going to be interesting to see the cuts and how things transpire as we go along. But next, before we get back into it, before we get on to a next topic or anything, we're going to talk to the Monroe County Executive, exclusive interview with him, Monroe County Executive Adam Bello, to get his remarks about the Buffalo Bills training camp 2023. Let's hear what he has to say about the camp.
Good morning, County Executive. What does it mean for the Buffalo Bills to be here at St. John Fisher College?
All right. First of all, this is really great for Rochester and our region, and it's really special because our fans here, we have a huge fan base, gets to be up close and personal with their heroes and with these football players they really only get to see on TV. And so these are memories that are going to be with particularly our young people for the rest of their lives. It helps to really maintain that strong brand with their fan base here. For our economy here, it's a good thing. So we're just delighted to have them here. Continue to welcome back every year, and I want to thank all the fans for coming out as well because they're having a great time. They're supporting the team, and that's how we're going to get them to keep coming back.
And what kind of media, like for example, with it being on national media, sports shows, and when they show the Bills, they say Rochester, New York.
It does. I just saw it on ESPN the other day, and no, to see Rochester on the national stage, and we just came off the PGA Championship being in Rochester too, and we were being beamed all over the globe, and now you can go home and see the Bills training camp on ESPN and all on TV as well. It's just an incredible thing for Rochester. It puts us on the map. It shows that Rochester really is a great place for people to live. It's a great place to do business, and we have a lot of things to do here for people to do here as well. And I think that it just demonstrates we got a great quality of life here.
Absolutely, it gives the opportunity to build for the area to build and go after other
absolutely
major conventions.
Yep.
And things of that nature.
Absolutely, and these things just keep coming one after the other. This has been a big year for Rochester with the PGA here, the Bills training camp here. We've got a big air show this weekend with the Thunderbirds, and then you have the Fringe Festival, which is growing like crazy. The Jazz Festival earlier this year had record numbers. It just shows Rochester's really a place. There's a lot of things to do here. It's fun. We're a growing community, and we're really on the map now, not just in the region, but really across the country.
Beautiful.
There you have it. J-GILLZ, the county executive out there. Chuck Schumer was out there as well.
Oh,
so you had the heavy hitters were out there on the last day of training camp. It was very interesting. And Adam Bello, I appreciate his comments. And if people don't realize, that's a lot of money, a lot of economic, as he mentioned in the interview, that's a lot of money coming into Monroe County in Rochester, in the city of Rochester.
Yeah, I mean, with the PGA and the Bills training camp, you can't beat it. But Radman, I did want to ask you this. Bills training camp at St. John Fisher has been a luxury that we've been able to have. But now with the last, I think they didn't renew the contract. So what's your thoughts on if training camp is moved? Do you think they're going to stay in Rochester at St. John Fisher and have the success that they've been having? I mean, sold out training camps day before the tickets go out. Things been sold out. Rochester, a huge market outside of Buffalo, with the huge fan base for the Bills. So where did the Bills go from here with training camp?
I think they'll keep Fisher a little bit longer. I think sooner or later it'll probably will go back to being right there because they have the state-of-the-art facility. They have some brand new grass fields out there in Orchard Park, right next, adjacent to the field house. So they've really done upgraded the Orchard Park area, and they have a very nice facility. But I think the days are numbered for St. John Fisher College. Hopefully, they might be able to squeeze 1 or 2 more years out, especially before. I think it'll stay in Rochester, the Buffalo Bills training camp, until the new stadium is built. When that new stadium is built in 2026, I believe is right now slated to open in that season. I think that's when they'll move and have everything back in Orchard Park at that time. But I think for the next 2 years, I think they most likely will be back at St. John Fisher College for at least 2 more seasons.
Good to know. Everybody get your tickets early.
That's right. Get your tickets early and come on out and enjoy. It's a nice facility. It's a great view. I mean, you don't have a bad seat in the house. I mean, you could be standing on the side. You could be sitting up in the bleachers. It's just a good view from no matter what side of the field you're on, where you're at. You can't miss seeing the the action, seeing the players work out, seeing them run their drills. And this is what they do every day. When they're back in Orchard Park on Tuesday, usually they have Tuesday off, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, this is what they're doing. They're doing drills, stretching, and then they go through Wednesday, Thursday, they go through the actual plays for the upcoming game, and also on Thursday, the defensive strategy for that upcoming week's opponent. So you get to see what some of the things they do on a regular basis to get them ready for Sunday. You just don't show up on Sunday ready to play, right, J-GILLZ?
Absolutely not. And the fan experience too. I mean, you know, that like Adam Bello was saying in that last interview with the finances that are being brought in. I mean, the fan experience, all the vendors, all the face painting, the food, it's delicious. You're getting vendors from right here locally. So it's a great money attraction, family attraction, and hopefully, like you said, Rad, man, we could keep it here at least another 2 years.
Yeah, I really do. I really think so. They'll be there at least another 2 years, bringing in the economic development. But I think you see the different teams coming in. The only thing I would see is just get a little bit more diversity, bringing in a little bit. I see U Prep there, East High School, Virtus. First year I saw Virtus out there. I think to get some more of these city schools and also some of these the charter schools that I'm seeing they starting to bring out here, just increase the diversity. And I think it's moving in the right direction. But they really need to open that up where you can get tickets out to everybody. Get those tickets out to everybody. Because I'm seeing the groups are getting diverse, but you need to get those tickets so you can get a. And maybe when it was before, previously to the last 2 or 3 years before the pandemic, they were here a longer period of time too. So that makes a difference. They're not here nowhere near as many. They would be here past the first preseason game. I think they would play the first. They would be almost 18 days, where now it's down to 10 days. So it's a big less days than in past years. So I think that may come along. Hopefully they can get it back where they could be here a little bit longer than just 10 days, 10 practice days here in the marketplace for sure. And next up, we got Miriam Rivera Insurance. Hey, auto, home, health, life insurance. If you need it, getting ready for the fall season, sending kids off to college real soon. Other parts of the country, school has started already. School started this week. But hey, get Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, auto, home, health, and life insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue or 511 Bean Road. Let Miriam and her staff help you out, or give a call, 585-360-0094. She saved me and my family a hell of a lot of money. I know she can help save you and your family and your loved ones some money as well. So check out the friend of the show, Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, for auto, home, health, and life insurance for sure, guys. And let's not forget Image Printer. Manuel Floyd over there with Image Printer for marketing and publishing company. Give him a call, 585-360-0132. Get a hold of Image Printer. Image Printer, Manuel Floyd. I hope getting your things in order for printing wise. If you need fans, business cards, or banners, posters, big old banners to put in the front of your business or on your tents out at these festivals and things, or whatever your print need may be, give the local guy a shot. Don't go to the big guys right away. Give the local guy a shot. And that's Manuel Floyd at Image Printer, Marketing and Publishing Corp. 360-0132. Yes, indeed. And J-GILLZ, you mentioned Brandon Shaw earlier. I just want to get back to your thought. How did he perform last year for the Miami Dolphins as a starter?
As a starter, I mean, he played well. He played well, mind you. Playing right tackle, that's Tua's blind side. So he was sitting there playing on the blind side opposite of Teron Armstead. So he did have some help. Had a great pickup as well. When you're talking about the Dolphins offensive lineman, Robert Hunt, the second-round pick in 2021. So he played really well. As we saw in training camp, he's a huge individual. Not the fastest, but you know he's gonna be a great pass protector, which is exactly what the Bills need. He wasn't the best at blocking for the run, but when you talk about pass protection, his size, his mass, he was able to do a lot of damage and help out Tua. I'll just put it like this. He wasn't starting those games with those concussions that Tua had last season against the Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals and against the Green Bay Packers. Yes, y'all, 3 concussions in a season. It's crazy. But the games that he was able to play was some of the best games that Tua was able be productive in. So I think that he's going to be a huge asset to the Buffalo Bills, especially when we look at the depth. He has a real competitive edge, a huge competitive edge. You know, he doesn't stay on the same team, but he's always employed. That should tell you something. 8 seasons, 8 NFL teams, but yeah, he's going to be a huge addition, no pun intended.
Exactly. And also 8 offensive coordinators. That's a lot of different systems to learn and be up on. So that tells you that this young man is capable of doing that and being able to be a good offensive lineman and a quality reserve. If not a starter, he can definitely come off the bench and help Buffalo during this season. And once again, 8 years shows you that he's a veteran of the league. And that's what Sean McDermott and Brendan Bean obviously wanted to do. They wanted to solidify this team with more veteran talent, bring in more veteran guys. And say, hey, if they're going to go down swinging, they're going to go down swinging with the veteran guys. They trust them a little more. They're seasoned. They're looking forward to seeing what they can do. And I think that offensive line is going to be interesting to see how the Buffalo Bills come together on the offensive side, the front. Defensive side, A.J. Espinoza has been having a hell of a training camp. I think he's playing very well. He's showing a burst. He has a little bit more speed that he's showing right now. I definitely like what I see, but hey, I want to see him in the game, see him in the regular season, seeing what AJ can bring J-GILLZ, because he's looking pretty good so far.
Oh yeah,
you got to see what he can do, what he's bringing there on the edge. I think Shaq Lawson, those guys better watch out because Boogie Basham got to get it going as well. Pick up his speed. Greg Rousseau, I see they using him on the edge as well as moving him inside. He's going up against guards and tackles as well. Guards a little more. So they're moving him to the inside of the defensive front. So they're showing a lot more. Keep in mind, this is now the Sean McDermott defensive unit. I see a lot more movement. I see a lot of more aggressive play. I see guys coming in. I see some blitzing that I didn't used to see in training camp under the Leslie Frazier defensive regime. I'm seeing more and more of Buffalo putting the pressure. They look like they want to go after the offense a little more and put a little more pressure on the offensive line and the quarterback as well to get rid of that ball quickly. That's what I'm seeing so far with this Sean McDermott defense. How about yourself, J-GILLZ?
Oh, yeah, and that's another thing. I think fans want to know who's going to be calling those plays. I think you just touched on it. Former McDermott is going to be the play caller for the season, filling that role in from Leslie Frazier, the former defensive coordinator. So I just think that when it comes to the Buffalo Bills fans want to know this, right, man? Everybody's been chirping about the AFC East, whether it's the whether it's Aaron Rodgers in the Jets, whether it's the Miami Dolphins. The Bills, they've been getting slept on nationally in the national media. So what can Bills fans expect from the Buffalo Bills this season? Preseason starting today, but what can Bills fans really expect?
Yeah, I think they can expect a more aggressive team on the defensive side of the ball, and I think a more conservative team on the offensive side. And I say conservative on offense, meaning they're going to run the ball a little more. And I think they'll run it in between the tackles. Also today, watching this game against Indianapolis Colts, keep your eye out on Joseph Mims, number 35, a running back out of Fresno State. He runs in between the tackles very well. He has a quick burst. He's very low to the ground. He's like a bowling ball, hard to hit. Watch Mims today. I'm sure he's going to get a lot of touches in today's game. I like how he's been running the football so far in training camp. And also, I think the play action is going to come in. You're going to see a lot more play action, double tight end set. This is the first time I can remember. I can't hardly remember, even with Pete Messalars and some of those guys back in the 80s and 90s era of Buffalo Bills football. I can't remember the Buffalo Bills ever having a tight end that can go deep, that can get down the field. And this kid, Kincaid, can definitely do that. That guy, he's got nice speed. Good hands on him. He made a play. He caught a ball that was thrown behind him, slightly behind him. He had to stop, and he caught it. And Terrell Dodson was right there. It was nothing Terrell Dodson could do better than what he did. I mean, he closed behind him. He went after, he tried to knock the ball out of there, but I mean, the guy is big. He was able to catch it, hold on to the pass, and take the hit from Terrell Dodson and pick up the first down. That was one of a key plays that I saw in training camp earlier this week. So Dalton Kincaid, I think he's going to be a big part of the offense. Dawson Knox will also hopefully be able to continue and improve his play as well. The only key I'm with these guys is, can they block? Can they block a little bit? Because you're going to need a little blocking. You got the offensive line with their mentality on their blocking schemes. The Bills got to get some quick hitters and also get James Cook in the game with some dump off passes and some quick hitters to the inside as well. Because Cook is fast. You can see his speed as well. Latavius Murray, he's running inside. Damon Harris, another inside runner. Those guys are bruisers. They come in there. This is where Buffalo, when they get inside the red zone and they need 3 yards or they need 2 yards for a first down, you can hand the ball off now. You don't have to have Josh Allen play action, keeping the ball and running with the ball himself. Give that ball to Damian Harris or Latavius Murray and let them go in between the tackles to pick up those first downs, those critical first downs. And not only that, it keeps the clock moving and you keep the ball out of the other team's hands. You taking control of the game, and that's what Buffalo has a hard time doing. Even in the 13-second game, when they're in that game, Buffalo always seem to have a hard time of taking control of the game on offense and going on long drives. Buffalo was good at getting those quick hitters and seemed to either score quick or kick a field goal, whatever the case may be. But you need to control the game a little more. And I think with this type of offense they're setting up, they can control the game, especially in crucial situations when they need those 3 yards, 2 yards, 4th and 1s, stuff like that. Now you got some running backs that can get in there and pick up that short yardage, J-GILLZ. That's why I say it's a little bit more conservative on the defense, on the offensive side, but the defensive side is going to be a little bit more aggressive this upcoming season.
Oh yeah, and I think today will be a huge test against the Indianapolis Colts. Word just came out that Anthony Richardson will be the starter. He's going to be starting for the Colts, so this is going to be a good look to get a gaze on him as well as this Bills defense to see what they're going to do and how they're going to be able to stop the run. Because as we can imagine, the Colts are going to be running the ball.
Right. They just picked up what they picked up. Did they pick up Kareem Hunt? I think they
didn't get Kareem Hunt yet, but they do have former Bill Zach Moss as the backup, and he's probably pegged to be starting in the absence of Jonathan Taylor with his injury. So I think that Zach Moss is going to be another guy to look at today for former Bills fans when you're looking at the preseason game there.
Well, no, unfortunately, Zach Moss broke his arm in training camp a couple of weeks ago. He's out until maybe the first 4 games, midway through the regular season. That was an unfortunate injury for Zach Moss because they said he was having a great training camp when the injury took place. Right. So he's out with the broken arm. So they got to get them some running back. Jonathan, their main guy, walked out because he's upset with the owner running his mouth about not paying running backs. And he said, "Wait a minute, I'm a running back, so you must be talking about me, man." Right.
He even left the facility. He left the team. He said he having some back injuries, and hopefully he'll be ready for the start of the season. But Radman, with the Buffalo Bills' improved roster, as you stated, you think they're going to be much better, conservative on offense, better on defense. Who's going to be the biggest competition in this loaded AFC conference? You got Josh Allen, obviously, but Patrick Mahomes is still available. Joe Burrow is coming back eventually. Tua and the Dolphins, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson over there, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert. There's so many names that we can name off. Who's going to be the biggest competition for the Bills, and where do you think they're going to rank when you're talking about this AFC East loaded conference? I'm sorry, AFC loaded conference.
Yeah, wow, it's loaded. I think the Jets will come out the gate but they have such a tough schedule opening with the Bills and then Dallas. Their first 4 games, I think it's not going to be the Jets. I think it's going to be more like the Chargers team. I think the Chargers have added some nice players to their roster. Cincinnati a little bit slow with Burrow's already injured, already working on the calf injury. They don't know when he's going to be back. The Ravens, I think, they got a solid lineup. Watch out for the Baltimore Ravens. You can't sleep on them. And also, one team I think is going to be the surprise team of the AFC. I think it's going to be the Cleveland Browns. I think the Cleveland Browns, they're long overdue. Deshaun Watson got a full off season in, training camp in now. They got a good running game. They got one of the best offensive lines in the National Football League overall. I think they're gonna turn some heads, and Deshaun Watson's gonna starting to revert back to the Deshaun Watson that we knew before the pandemic and before all that craziness happened down there with the Houston Texans. I think he'll be coming back. So keep an eye on Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns is a team that I definitely have more going to take place with them. I think it's going to be a lot more going on with the Cleveland Browns this upcoming season. So keep an eye on them. I saw it during the preseason. We got to get AD on. AD will probably be on with us from Houston, Texas in the next couple of weeks to give us a breakdown on C.J. Stroud. We saw he had a rough first game there. Man, he tried to run, and man, he got to remember this isn't Ohio State, man. You can't be out there you can't pump fake the ball. You got to get rid of that ball, man. And most rookie quarterbacks, and you probably see Anthony Richardson later today do it, pump fake the ball and hold on to the ball too long. And he tried to take off, and that defensive lineman just came across and, man, smacked him good. Got a good hit on him early in that game. So C.J. Stroud's got to learn. The Texans, they're going to go through growing pains with the young quarterback. Indianapolis, definitely. Anthony Richardson, what I saw, he did, in my personal opinion, he needed another year of college before he come out. But he came out. He got drafted. To my surprise, he was drafted high. So they like his skill set. The Indianapolis Colts are going to work with him, and they're going to have growing pains with him, because what I saw last year, him missing wide open receivers, and then other times hitting guys looking really good. Remind me of Josh Allen, really, in that area of hitting guys, making the difficult pass look easy and making the easy pass look difficult. So we got. It's going to take a while for Anthony Richardson, but they go all in on him, and I think the coach's going to have to grow another season to see what they can do. And Patrick Mahomes, as this continues to be Patrick Mahomes, watch out, Kansas City. They always seem to find a way to win. I think Chris Jones, they'll probably re-sign him. They probably settle something and get him back in the lineup, because he's the anchor of their defense. When he's not there, they're not the same, the Kansas City Chiefs. So they got to do something, get Chris Jones back under the fold, and it's going to be a good NFL season coming up.
Another sleeper too, I have to say the Jacksonville Jaguars. When I look at Doug Peterson and I look at that staff over there, when I look at Trevor Lawrence and the way that he ended the season against those same Los Angeles Chargers, 4 interceptions and a half, and then to go and throw 4 touchdowns. They're only getting better. Evan Ingram back, Christian Kirk, another full season, Calvin Ridley joining the fold, Travis Etienne, and again, Doug Peterson in that system 2.0. I think that when it comes to challenging for that next level of quarterback, for the longest time, it's been Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. Even Lamar Jackson hasn't really been getting the proper dues and respect. But I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to take a step above Josh Allen this season as the premier quarterback in the AFC. I think that he's got the talent to do it. I think he's finally got the roster to do it. He's got a great running game, a good offensive line, and I think that eventually that passing of the torch, but passing of a quarterback is going to happen this season, in which Trevor Lawrence is going to enter the elites of the elites in the AFC. You can mark my words. How do you feel about that, Redman? What do you think is the projection? You think Josh Allen's going to keep in that top tier or that top 3? Or do you think that that Trevor Lawrence can surpass him? Or do you have another quarterback possibly being able to surpass him?
I think if Trevor Lawrence has a good coach with Peterson, that shows you when you have a good offensive coordinator, because now things look totally different than when he had Urban Myers there the previous season. Trevor Lawrence is definitely on the upswing. They put in the quality running backs, as you just mentioned, Etienne, the wide receivers, the offensive line, the tight end. They put together a nice team for him, and I think Trevor Lawrence is definitely on the upswing. I think if it all goes with not only the quarterback, what he sees, but it's also what his offensive coordinator sees and how best to use the skill set of the quarterback, of the quarterback skill set with the offense that they're trying to run. And Peterson, even before that, when he was in Philly, he had you could just tell he knows how to take your skills and make them work best within the system. He'll make the adjustments and things of that nature. So I think Trevor Lawrence is on the upswing. Joe Burrow, I like Joe Burrow, but I'm very concerned about the injuries. He's getting injuries without being hit. and when he was hit, he seemed to bounce up from those, bounce up and come right back from those hits. And then remember, he had his first season, he had the knee surgery. His knee was blown out on a low hit in a game, and now he's got a calf injury. It's just it's those injuries. Some guys' bodies just aren't made for the rigors of the National Football League. But the time will tell on Joe Burrows, because if he can stay healthy, I think this will be the last run, because keep in mind, Cincinnati gonna have to pay Burrows. They'll have to pay some of those guys, so they may lose some of those receivers and people after this season. So and Joe Mixon took a pay cut to come back, which I think hurt the running back stock too overall. I mean, Joe Mixon, come on, man, why would you take a pay cut? Talk about you want to win? Okay, you want to win, man, but man, come on, man. The running backs, you know, that's a whole nother issue that we talked about last week.
The solidarity with your backs, absolutely, man.
You gotta have solidarity, but I think Burrows, and I think the key to Josh Allen is if Dorsey can get him to hit the short stuff. They've been throwing a lot of short passes in practice. Can he hit them in stride? If he can hit Cook out of the backfield, or hit some of the running backs out of the backfield, and then go downfield and hit the tight ends and start making some of those plays and getting play action where he's comfortable with getting rid of the ball and not holding on the ball and not waiting for the last second to try to hold it or think you can run somebody over. He got to stop thinking about running somebody over and think about being the quarterback, the true quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, by getting rid of that ball to the different receivers. They set it up for him. They drafted a tight end number 1. You're going with 2 tight end sets. You still got Stephon Diggs. Gabe Davis is playing very well. He's another guy that's impressing me during camp. His ankle injury look like his ankle injury is over. He's fine. He's healthy. He looks healthy. He looks even speedier out there. You got some other guys too that's coming on for the Bills. So Khalil Shakir, man, he's made some excellent plays in camp. I keep an eye on him. Trent Sherfield, man, your guy from Miami, Trent Sherfield, man, he done found a home right away with the Buffalo Bills, because he's in almost every set. So I know he's going to get a lot of action. Trent Sherfield and Josh Allen have been throwing the ball to him in camp a lot.
So with Trent Sherfield, do you think that he's emerged as a wide receiver too with the departure of Isaiah McKenzie? Or do you think that Gabe Davis still has the edge over him? Because Trent Sherfield, when I saw him at camp, he's just as big, just as physical as Gabe Davis, and probably a little faster. So when I saw, just his ability to just get up and get the ball, I think that corner touchdown Josh threw to him, led him right there in the end zone. He just went up there, yanked it, got it, touchdown, easy with the footwork. So where do you think he ranks as far as being the number 2 receiver on this team, or do you think he's still got a little bit more to climb?
No, I think he's right there at number 2. Just because me and you saw that, we were standing down by that end zone too when he came and made that. And that was one of the few times when Josh Allen threw the ball. When Sherfield turned, the ball was already released from Josh Allen's hand, and that ball, and as soon as he turned, that ball was right there. Perfect play. That was one of the best passes all camp. Matter of fact, hell, in all camp, in the whole 5 years that I've seen Josh Allen, man, that was one of the best placed balls. It was a timing play, and I haven't seen him. Yeah, it was right there. So I think he's built a rapport with Sherfield during the offseason, and ironically, by having Stephon Diggs not show up for the OTAs, he got time to work with him more, and now he's done found a nice rapport with them. And what did he say after one interview? He said, "Oh yeah," he said, "that Sherfield, man, that guy runs every route clean. That man can run every route. Yeah. I'm really impressed with him, and guess what? He doesn't complain about anything." Nope. That tells you something right there. So I think Buffalo Bills fan Sherfield is here to stay. Keep an eye on him this season. I think him and Gabe Davis will be when crunch time comes. Hey, don't be surprised to see Trent Sherfield getting the ball thrown his way.
And Trent, he's been looking for that opportunity, starting his career in Arizona, and then 2021 with Mike McDaniel, and then last year with Mike McDaniel in Miami. So he definitely knows how to work a receiver room. And now that he's got that time, I think that the Bills' passing attack is going to be just as lethal. The only contradiction I have with you, Ratman, is you think that they're going to be running the ball more, and I just don't see it. They're getting weapons. Weapons on weapons, like the Trent Sherfield, like the Dalton Kincaids, and Josh Allen. I just have a feeling that they're going to throw the ball again and again and again. I'm talking about 30 pass attempts a game, just like we've seen in the past. I don't see the run game being as strong, and I think that's what's going to ultimately disappoint Bills fans. as the season progresses.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. They may, you know, you can't. It's hard to teach a dog new tricks, as they always say. Let's see what happens. I would not be surprised when they get to crunch time. They go back to a pass-happy league, but at least put a running back, put a back in the backfield, so that you can at least have a disguise that it looks like you might have an option of running the football. I don't like the set with an empty backfield. I think the Bills need to get away from that empty backfield mode. Keep a backfield, a running back in the backfield. On passing situations or running, just to give a look that you might run the football. Don't tell everybody you're going to throw the ball. That's what has gotten Josh Allen into trouble in the past, Bo. So that's why I think when they get to 3rd and 3s and things like that, you might see some running plays, or 3rd and 2s, or 4th and 1s. You might see some because you got what you bring in Latavius Murray and Damon Harris in here if you're not going to use them. You got to use those battering rams and run them in between the tackles and pick up those tough first downs to keep the ball moving down the field. So I look forward to seeing that. And before we roll out, the Philadelphia Phillies, Lorenzen threw a no-hitter the other night, and I had to call my cousins in Detroit and tell them. I said, "Why would you get rid of a guy?" And the guy goes to the Phillies and throws a no-hitter his first game out with the new team. Well, Detroit, come on, Detroit Tigers, y'all gotta do so. Y'all gotta be better than this. Y'all keep giving away way too many good, talented players, and they turn around and perform for other teams. And I hear the music, J-GILLZ. That must be we run out of time.
Wrapping up.
Backspin. Gotta get a quick question for you.
What's up?
Why did Micah Parsons go low on Dak Prescott in practice?
Honestly,
what was that about?
I think it's about making him a tougher player and to get ready for the season. I want to know why he keep throwing all these interceptions in practice. That's what I want to know.
He's throwing them interceptions.
You know what I mean? Like, if he's getting them out the way, cool. Is our defense just that good? I'm not mad at that either, but he's got to be able to not turn the ball over, and that was a big problem for us last season, and I pray to God it doesn't continue this season, because if it does, Dak might be looking for another team, because, you know, Jerry I know we paid him, but hey, we'll be looking for a new quarterback in the draft next season.
Yes, indeed. I believe Diggs. And Diggs went after him too. So
Diggs. I think it's to make him tougher. You know what I mean? Like when Dak, his first 2-3 years, he was a big, tough guy. He was running over people. He was playing Josh Allen like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ever since he broke his leg or his ankle or whatever he broke, he's not been the same Dak Prescott. I think we all know that. I hope he gets back to, you know, that essence that killer instinct that he once had, but I think he's just been scared. And you know, maybe that's Micah letting them know, like, listen, man, these people aren't playing with you out here, and I'm coming at you the same way they're going to be coming at you, you know, throughout the season. So it's time to toughen up.
Yeah, and I noticed I was surprised the head coach, but these coaches, I guess they always got to protect their players.
Yeah, you know, and that's another thing. Like, I wish this was, you know, 80s, 90s football. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Because this, you know, quarterback princess can't be touched. You know, don't put them in pads. And, like, that's what's making the game soft today. And that's why these players are getting hurt left and right. Back in the day, you know, the players never used to get this injured. They used to play all season, come back next season ready to do it again. This year, or in this era of the NFL, players are getting hurt left and right over non-contact injuries. And that just lets you know that they're going soft in practice. When you go soft in practice and try to go hard in the game, well, that's when the injuries set in. So
it's not a good mix. You're absolutely right. We never heard of calf muscle. What was it?
Right.
I mean, look at all these guys with pulled calf muscles.
Exactly.
And then they out for a month. It's like, wait.
Right. They're not out for a week. You know, they're messing my fantasy football teams up. You know what I'm saying, J-GILLZ? Like, we can't be.
And it's compromising the running back's payday.
Exactly.
Quarterback happy, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. The running backs it used to be a running back league. Now it's a quarterback's league, and the quarterback is making all the money, and you can't even hit him. I mean, make it make sense. Make it make sense.
And it's almost like they're paying them on what they think they're going to do rather than what they've already done. Because very few of these guys done enough to earn to even qualify for the kind of money that they're getting paid.
Right.
I mean, come on.
That's a fact. Unless you're a Joe Burrow or you know,
of course, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, unless you're a Patrick Mahomes or something like that, you know, maybe even Jalen Hurts now that he stepped up and proven himself. But, you know, Dak, it was a wait and see kind of attitude, and Jerry jumped the gun, gave him his money, maybe because he felt a little sorry for him because he got hurt or whatever, you know, on their watch. But hey, he's not performed at the elite level that a Dallas Cowboy quarterback is expected to perform at, especially after he done got his checks. So, hey, you got to do better.
You got to do better. You got to hustle. And hey, last quick, somebody Passport wants to know about that Alabama BRAWL update. Hey, man, that's just, hey, they got it in down there in Alabama,
Hey,
man.
I'm not mad at them, Alabama. Hey, if that's the back signal, throw your hat in the air and let them know. It on. Hey, I'm not mad at that co-captain. I think he did what he was supposed to do. I'm not mad at the people who came over to assist him and aid in his help, you know, and his benefit. I'm not mad at that. I think it was God's plan for that to happen. And that's gonna be a landmark now. And that little port area is gonna be a tourist attraction from now on. Montgomery, Alabama.
And not to mention, them folding chairs are going to be more synonymous than the New York Yankee hat, man. Them folding chairs are going to be known all around this world.
Oh, my goodness. We got to go, guys.
And a black man, Nathaniel Alexander, invented the folding chair.
Yeah, black man.
A black man named Nathaniel Alexander. I just learned something new. That's in Challenger Community News. Read that article about brawling on the river, why so many black folks are reacting to the Alabama riverboat brawl. Because it sure did galvanize our people, for sure, after seeing that incident take place. So
no doubt. Keep it locked where you got it. Real Deal Sports Show. Fanatic. He's out there somewhere, I'm sure, enjoying his life. J-GILLZ, Rad Man, appreciate y'all. We'll check back in next week, man. Y'all have a great weekend.
Be a good sport.
Yes, sir. Keep it locked right where you got it. The Back in Time Mix Show was on deck right here on the beat.